So a year ago this week, the new president, right after inauguration, issued an executive order declaring that all files related to the Kennedy assassination, MLK, and Bobby Kennedy's assassination had to be released. And they haven't all been, unfortunately. But in tranches of documents that have been released in the last 12 months, we've seen again and again references to Israel have been, and there are a lot of references to Israel in the files around the Kennedy assassination, interestingly, have all been redacted for 62 years, 63 years. It's like, what? I don't understand. Like, why would that be? Why are there two monuments to Jim Angleton in Israel? The number two at CIA. I think it's all very, very odd. And you hear people complain about conspiracy theories, and I'm definitely against conspiratorial thinking because it drives you crazy. On the other hand, in the absence of transparency, that stuff grows like algae. I mean, what do you think? If you don't tell people the truth, like, what are they supposed to think? They're going to come up with all kinds of theories. Why would you redact references to Israel in the Kennedy files for 6 decades? Like, what is that?
That's almost an admission. So, like, I didn't know.
It's very odd. I'll say that.
So I didn't know that until recently. And again, establishment media never talks about these things. And again, it's not just about Israel. So, for example, on 9/11, we're redacting references to the Saudis.
Oh, I know.
Why? So they say, well, they're our allies. Well, if they're our allies, then maybe they shouldn't have had a hand in 9/11, right? They didn't have a hand in 9/11. Okay, great. Then show me the redacted part. No, I won't show you the redacted part. Okay, now this is weird. Now this is our government working for other governments. And what happened after 9/11? We rounded up all the bin Ladens. Yes, there were bin Ladens in America. And we rounded up all the Israeli spies. And yes, there was tons and tons of Israeli spies in America.
Following the 19 hijackers around the country.
Yeah.
Yep.
And what did we do? We rounded them up. Oh, great. We got them. And we released them back to Saudi Arabia and Israel.
Yeah.
No, that's our
government. And then
government.
we invade Iraq.
Yeah.
Which had nothing to do with it. And increased domestic police powers to the point where the country's not recognizable from what it was on September 10th, 2001. So
that's our government working for other governments.
Oh, I'm aware.
I can't stand it. So which leads us to Epstein. Okay, so here's another one. Drop Site News has proven definitively that, in my opinion, and we'll talk about the evidence, that Epstein worked for an intelligence agency and almost certainly Mossad.
Yeah.
Okay. And almost certainly the CIA knew it.
Of course.
Okay.
Yeah.
So now what's the evidence? It's overwhelming. First of all, in all the emails, he is looking to help one country. No, it's not Finland. And no, it's not America. It's Israel. So how do we get cyber weapons to Israel? How do we get America to bomb Syria? How do we get America to bomb Iran? Okay. Hey, Ehud Barak, former prime minister of Israel, I can set up a meeting with you with Putin. Wait, Epstein is so powerful, he can set up meetings that the former prime minister of Israel can't. He can call Putin anytime and get someone a meeting. Then we find out that he was in the middle of the Iran-Contra affair. He was the one switching the planes out. How many civilians were involved in the Iran-Contra affair? Easy answer, 0. There are no civilians involved in Iran-Contra. Everyone was intelligence, okay? So this guy switching out planes in the middle of Iran-Contra is obviously intelligence, and that's Jeffrey Epstein, okay? So Jeffrey Epstein was much more powerful than we realized. He could set up a meeting with almost any world leader. He could get almost anyone into the White House. Again, Ehud Barak has trouble getting into the White House. Epstein makes a call. Boom, he's in the White House. Israeli spy stays over at Epstein's house. There's just no question about it. He is definitely intelligence. And in every turn, he's looking to help one country, and it's Israel. American media says, shut up. No. Jeffrey Epstein, New York Times has a story about how he's like a Forrest Gump. He just tripped over the money. And oh God, golly gee, he just happened to be an savvy investor. And nothing to see here. Now, Drop Site News already showed it. Why wouldn't you try to build on that? Why wouldn't you cover that? Is that not an interesting story? That
I think it qualifies. I don't understand it. I'm not pretending to understand it, but it's certainly interesting.
It's certainly interesting.
Yeah.
I mean, and by the way.
And it seems significant too.
Yeah. If you're the New York Times or you're Jake Tapper or you're CNN, disprove it. I don't want to believe something that's wrong. So show me, oh no, Drop Site News got it wrong. Those emails are wrong. It turns out he was working for Sweden. Okay. Or no one. Fine. But they don't do that. They don't disprove it. They don't prove it. They don't report on it. They never, ever talk about it. That is super weird. Super weird.
Well, speaking of an admission of guilt, yeah.
Yeah, because that is the most interesting story in a long, long time. Obviously, American people are captivated by it.
Yes.
Is the New York Times and CNN claiming that they're not captivated by it? No, they obviously are, right? And they report about it as it affects Trump all the time. Trump, right? I'm not saying that Trump didn't know Epstein. He did. I'm not saying they weren't great friends. They were, right? But
it's a bigger story, I think we can say.
It's a bigger story than just Trump.
Yes, I think it is.
Right? But whenever it comes to Trump, they're like, yes, it was Trump. It was Trump. Why? Magic. You don't want to have people look here. This is where the real action is. So get them to look here. Get them to look here.
Yes,
right?
it's three-card Monty.
Yes, it's all an illusion. Yes. So it's unconscionable not to talk about Epstein's connections to intelligence, including Mossad and including the CIA.
For sure. And British intelligence and French. And what was this? I mean, you get the sense that it reveals the superstructure beneath. It gives you a glimpse into how power is exercised globally, because it is global, right? And there's so much that I know a lot about the Epstein story, and I'm still totally ignorant about what that was. I really don't understand it, but it's obvious it's a third rail for a reason.
Yeah. Yeah. So that's why right now there's a bit of a revolution going on.
Do you think there is?
There is. Yeah. And so again, another reason why they hate you so much, because the left wing was already gone, 92% disapproving of the actions of Israel in Gaza. And our politicians already gave us the middle finger and said, no, we'll lose this election rather than defy Israel. We'll lose Michigan. We'll lose swing states. We don't care. We serve Israel loyally. Okay. Now, there's a bunch of Democrats that are against that. Ro Khanna being the leading guy, saying, no, I want to see the Epstein files. No, I think Palestine should exist. I don't know why everybody talks about Israel should be allowed to exist. Good news, they do, right? And they have nukes and they have Iron Dome that nobody has. They're about as safe a country as you could find on planet Earth. No one else has Iron Dome. Only a handful of countries have nukes. They have a better military than the rest of the Middle East combined. They're perfectly safe. Then you say, okay, you're good, you exist. We're all in favor of that. Now Palestine should exist. They're like, how dare you anti-Semite? No. You're the bigot. You're the bigot saying that another people should not have freedom. They've kept those people enslaved, 5.5 million Palestinians, for 58 years. And then they brag, oh, Israel's the best democracy and the only democracy in the Middle East. Well, it's a democracy within Israel. It's a dictatorship within the occupied territories. What is happening in the occupied territories?
There's a bit of a dictatorship now in mainland Israel for Israeli Jews, too. I mean, you're not welcome to, well, first of all, they try to keep people from leaving the country, of restricted freedom of movement. And you get the cops at your door for saying certain things in that country. It's in many countries that's true, but it's also true there. So come on now.
Yeah.
Stop lying to me.
Yeah. And so the media, they're an enormous part of the problem. So you see our politicians, both under Democratic and Republican presidents and administrations, say, no, we're not going to release the Epstein files. No, we're going to give Epstein a sweetheart deal back in 2008. And then we're going to take Alex Acosta and make him the labor secretary under Trump. Right?
That was the funniest thing that's ever happened. Didn't work very well.
Yeah. And by the way, Ghislaine Maxwell, that sounds familiar. Oh, she's the daughter of Robert Maxwell, legendary Israeli spy who stole our nuclear secrets. By the way, I don't know that that's ever been mentioned on cable news. Ever. Isn't that a super interesting fact that the main co-conspirator of Jeffrey Epstein, that her dad was the biggest spy Israel's ever had? Now, you could say, hey, the sins of the father are not passed on to the daughter, so that doesn't prove anything, but it's at least an interesting fact.
And it's not even the most interesting. In my opinion, the most interesting fact is Attorney General Barr covered up Epstein's murder, because he was murdered, and he covered it up as the Attorney General of the United States and said, we have to let people know this was a suicide. Number one rule is don't let them think it was a murder. He said that before they'd done an investigation into it. So that's a cover up by definition. You don't even know the facts, but you're reaching a conclusion and commanding everyone else reach the same conclusion. You're covering it up. And then it turns out his father, Donald Barr, got Jeff Epstein his first job teaching math at the Dalton School. He didn't even have a college degree. Okay. And then got him a job at Bear Stearns. The Attorney General's father is the one who started Jeffrey Epstein's career and set him up with his friends in finance. And then his son becomes Attorney General and covers up his murder. I mean, what are the chances, Cenk? Like, what are the odds on that, do you think?
Then you combine that with the odds on the Maxwells. Then you combine that with the odds of Israeli spies and prime ministers staying at his house. And then you combine that with all the emails he's saying, I can't wait to get America to do what Israel wants.
Unlikely things happen, but we've all seen crazy things happen. It's like, oh, happenstance. And like, sometimes it, rolls up and you get the jackpot. I get it. That is part of life. But if it keeps happening and you keep yelling at me for noticing, I think you think I'm dumb, right?
Yeah. And so, Tucker, what I think happened
Come on now.
Yeah. They're insulting our intelligence.
You think? Yeah.
100%.
So the new year is here, but that does not mean you've got to overhaul your whole life. Despite claims to the contrary, you don't have to take drastic measures. Make a few changes here and there, and you'll be a lot better off. And you can start with the snacks in your pantry. Now, products from standard American chip brands are, let's be honest, pretty repulsive, filled with chemicals that make you feel heavy and bloated. They don't even taste that good. They're not good for you. We recommend an upgrade with Masa chips. Masa is the easiest way to eat clean without feeling like you're on a diet. The chips contain 3 ingredients. That's it. Organic corn, sea salt, 100% grass-fed beef tallow, and that is it. No seed oils, no mystery chemicals, just food, actual food. And they're amazing, and you feel great after. You don't feel weighed down. We particularly enjoyed the Cobanero flavor lately, but they're all great. You want to give them a try? Visit masachips.com, M-A-S-A, chips.com/Tucker. Use the code Tucker for 25% off your first order, or you can click the link in the video description, or you can scan the QR code to claim this outstanding offer. And if you don't feel like ordering online, you can buy them nationwide at your local Sprouts supermarket. Stop by and pick up a couple of bags before somebody else does. Thanks for watching our YouTube channel. We hope you'll subscribe to it. And by the way, you can hit the little bell on there and get notifications every time we produce a video. We hope you'll do that also.